Hello and welcome to today's videos. We're going to continue talking about domestic dominance and the best players domestically within LCK, LPL, LEC, and formerly LCS from 2016 through 2024. So if you missed yesterday's video, we broke it down, top 3 players or so in each role in each of those regions. Now we take the top 12 and see, what changes, but also more importantly, I want to discuss the players that were involved in multiple regions where they got points. So to recap, part of my Hall of Fame point structure, there were 3 bonus points for first team All-Pro, 2 for second, and 1 for first for each split based on stats determined by me. So there are players on here that gain more points because they played in multiple regions but weren't top 3 in any, for instance. So top lane, someday, when you take into account both his North American and Korea, so he played with KT before he ever came to North America for 100 Thieves. He has the most domestic All-Pro points in that span. He played very well in Korea before he ever played in North America. Keen, Cabo, Flandre, we talked about them already. Broken Blade and Huni. So both have 17 because BB played with TSM before he ever played with G2, right? And Schalke, etc. Not etc. I guess he just kind of played with Schalke and G2, right? But he also played with in the TCL prior to that in a Worlds qualifying region, and that may be another video I do in the future with the minor region players from that time span. I know I started some stats on that now. Huni, Korea, he obviously a world champion with T1, and of course also played in Europe with Fnatic, but didn't get any points with them in this span. I don't think he may have even played with them in 2016. Smeb, Bwipo, Europe and North America did not get any points in the jungle. Down here we have 5 players that did get points in multiple roles. But Bwipo, of course, playing with Fnatic prior to playing with Team Liquid. Wonder, Alfari. So Alfari played with Vitality last we saw, but also had played, I believe, with Origin in Europe, and then maybe even more than that. But also played with Team Liquid in North America and did receive points in NA as well as Europe. Nuguri, and then Summit. Summit's one of a couple players on this board that actually got points in 3 regions. So majority of his points occurred in North America, but he also got some All-Pro points when he was playing in Korea with Sandbox and playing in China with FPX. Although he played with FPX for, I believe, only 1 split, he still was statistically very strong. He has always been a statistically strong player, now retired. In the jungle, top of the board is, we talked about him yesterday, Blabber, Yankos, Kanavi, Peanut, Canyon. But then 13 points, Pioshik and Trick along with Yike. So we talked about Yike, but didn't mention Pioshik or Trick because neither one had a ton of points in one region. So Pioshik, obviously world champion in Korea, but also had points on Team Liquid in North America. Trick had points in both Europe and Korea as well, playing with G2 in Europe. And I forget who he played with in Korea, but he had points, maybe Afrika. 12 points, Owner, Santorin, Selfmade, and then 12th would be Razork, who is tied with Dardoch. Mid lane, Chovy, Knight, then PoE. So we saw PoE had a ton of points yesterday in North America, but he also had points in Europe, playing with Misfits, as many remember. Larson, Jensen, Bjergsen, Scout. Perks had points in North America as well as in Europe. No points in the 80 carry role. Duenby, Faker, Showmaker, Humanoid, Vethio, and technically Rookie is tied with both of them in the mid lane. Bot lane, Doublelift, most dominant domestic 80 carry statistically during the span, followed by Aiming and Upset. So Aiming had many points in Korea. We talked about it yesterday. He led Korea, but also some points when he played with BLG in China alongside Zeka. Many people forget that. Reckless, Teddy, Uzi, Viper. Viper points in Korea and China. Ruler, Mystic, Hansama had points with Team Liquid in North America. And then when we get to 12th and tied with 12th, we have Cody Sun, Crowny. Crowny had a lot of All-Pro points. Now, we didn't talk about him yesterday, but he's a very good statistical player. Gala in China, and then Kramer, who played with Afrika and LGD in Korea and China. Support, Mako, Core JJ, obviously, world champion in Korea. Many points in North America, leading NA in the support role, but did have, like I said, points in Korea. Carrier, Mickey Ignar. Ignar also had points in North America as well as Europe, playing with many teams in North America, NRG being the most recent. Trimby Tucson, Huhi, Kaiser comes up there because Europe, very dominated by these top supports, at least statistically, and Kaiser historically has been a pretty good support stat-wise. Lahens, Vulcan, then we have Biofrost and Smoothie, tied with Missing and Lamau. Some extras here. Because we talked about Huhi has 14 points, not just 12. 14 points because he has 2 in mid lane. Of course, many people remember Huhi playing mid in North America and I believe Korea as well. 9 points for Xiaohu playing top lane and mid lane. Of course, Xiaohu, well revered, multi-role international champion. Only player that can claim that. Xiaohu is one of the greatest players of all time, in my opinion, because of that fact. He's very underrated in that conversation. I know I did a video a few years, probably 2 years ago, leading up to T1 Weibo World Championship Finals, just about how Xiaohu has had a great career, and many people kind of overlook him in those GOAT discussions, and understandably so. But I feel like Xiaohu is a better case than Chovy if we take into account the accomplishments that he's had. Zaitai, top and mid in China. Angel, yes, Angel is playing with EDG now, has points in top lane. He played top lane with Suning, if I recall. And then Kikis, who played in top and jungle in Europe. He actually has 4 all-pro points because of this. So just looking at this, thinking of like these great players, right? There are some people that we don't think about because maybe they don't have all the wins that many. I mean, of course, a lot of people just look at win-loss and think to themselves, "This is how we determine who's a good player or not," or just eye test. But in my opinion, stats are very important. And some players, when you look at the stats, they're very good. And if they had a better team, who knows what could have happened, like a PoE or. Aiming's finally on a team that can go to Worlds, and he did last year, and, solo carried them pretty much. I wonder what would have happened. Ignar finally got a good run in with NRG. And then you have some players that are pretty much retired, like Cabo. Someday is outright retired. Huni, Smeb, Nuguri, just run a top lane. You see a ton of players that are retired. Goes to show, though, how many different players have had all pro points since they retired that we don't have somebody overtaking them. I know somebody commented about Zeus and Khan and where they ranked in the LCK. And when we think about it, Khan only played 7 splits in the LCK, 2 in the LPL. And a lot of his value came internationally, especially statistically. 3 times did he rank in my top 3 at an event internationally. And Zeus can claim that as well in 7 splits. So the fact of the matter is, I think both of those players, if and when I do an international video similar, in that case, I imagine that they're going to be near the top. So, so thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.